It's 2004. Mark Zuckerberg launches Facebook.
New face filters on Instagram today. This is my favorite one so far. Nice job, team.
NASA's Mars rover finally lands on Mars. Shrek 2 comes out. George W. Bush is re-elected as the president of the United States. But we don't care about any of that. Besides Shrek, that was a good movie. What's important is the fact that we got the launch of Half-Life 2, which was universally praised for reinventing the physics engine in gaming and introducing a phenomenal story with its narrative. The game was instantly a certified hood classic, but we're not going to talk about Half-Life 2, not in this video at least. We're going to talk about Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, the multiplayer version of the game that dropped exactly 2 weeks after the base game with very positive reviews on Steam. And sorry, that goofy ass combine for the game's store page is hilarious. But back to topic. The game has an all-time player peak of 849 and a daily player peak of around 200 when making this video, which is pretty low. I remember the game being extremely lively during my time of playing this in 2012. Nevertheless, it's exactly how you'd expect a multiplayer game for Half-Life 2 to play. It's still fun as hell. The fact that everybody has a gravity gun allows us to make use of the Source engine and its amazing physics. Unfortunately, because of the small and dedicated player base, most of the amazing servers that I remember back in the day just aren't there anymore. And the small dedicated community of people who are still playing this game seem pretty chill.
Oh, Greg, I wanted to hit you with that. I wanted to see if I could kill somebody with the, chair again. Good game, Sam, man.
Good game, yes. Smoochie!
The free-for-all game modes are the most populated ones here. It's either that or team deathmatch based servers, where the person on the team with the most points wins, with a ton of maps that have rotational changes at the end of every match. My biggest memories come from the map Runoff, a team-based map where you choose between the Combine or the Rebels and just go all out fighting each other. The map had a very unique mechanic where if you go into this bunker and press the button on this terminal, it sets off a nuke that completely kills off all the players who are outside of the bunker. Overwatch is also a very fun map. No, not that garbage. This one. It's taken out of the beginning of the Follow Freeman chapter from Half-Life 2. The level design is pretty good, with the high, low, and mid portions of the map to dominate, so there's a lot of variety. The zero gravity maps are also fun as hell. Just massive, open maps that allow you to manipulate the props to your advantage. I vividly remember coming back from school just excited as hell to play on these servers for the rest of the day. Although the deathmatch modes are incredibly fun, there was always a game mode that I would always favor, and those were the co-op servers. These are just so damn fun for some reason. Taking the deathmatch element out of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, it's just a game mode that relies on entering rooms with your teammates and taking out Half-Life 2 enemies that spawn for several times before moving on to the next one. As tedious as it sounds, it's hella addictive, mainly because the Half-Life 2 enemies are so satisfying to take on. There wasn't really a story to any of these, just strange settings, like this level being a massive pyramid that ends off with a chopper fight at the top of it, or this Black Mesa themed level that takes us through multiple rooms before eventually ending off with many antlion guardians, or this map that's just a horde defense against antlions, which was funny as hell because I lured an antlion guardian in and got my teammates killed. Either way, the co-op mode was unique to me as I didn't have Gmod at the time. I for real couldn't afford it. Now you're probably thinking at this point that this is all the game has to offer. Well, there's one more mode that was basically the entire reason that I wanted to make this video after remembering it. A mode that is so satisfying and I have spent countless hours on, and that mode is fishing. Yep, fishing. Now hold on. Let me cook. This is one of the most unique game modes I've ever experienced as a child in gaming. The premise is so simple. You have hooks that are placed on the map to fish, you pick one of the hooks up with a gravity gun. Now you're probably wondering what all these watermelons are doing here. They're used as bait to fish out either weapons, enemies, or even NPC statues that you can alter. So that's the premise of the server. Everyone is on the same team and it's a super peaceful map. I remember back in the day, the game had a cheat in the console commands where you could become a combined soldier and start terrorizing all the rebels who were trying to peacefully fish. Shit was funny as fuck. This isn't the only map for the game mode either. In fact, there are multiple ones. As a proud member of the forgotten Half-Life 2 Deathmatch fishing community, I just had to replay some of these maps. Unfortunately, there are no active fishing servers in the base game. Fortunately, somebody on Reddit was also reminiscing on the old fishing maps, and a kind fellow was able to send them a link to the preservations. See? I'm not crazy. So Gmod is where I'm getting my footage from. What's so cool about these maps is that there are different versions of them too. You can see the developer constantly adding unique changes to each version and can see that he had a lot of passion for these fishing maps. For example, there's a secret room that can be accessed by going towards the end of the map, climbing this ladder and typing the code 5867. With that, we can now explore the secret room, which gives us all the weapons and it's just a cool area to chill in. I vividly remember killing all the NPCs here and just acting like a god to the newcomers who discovered the code. It was such a fun time. There's even a version which grants you the opportunity to drive some boats and yachts too, further making the map such a cool environment to chill in. A relaxing paradise where you can just fish. There are so many versions of these fishing maps and they all have their own little secrets. Like how this one takes you into a small room with all sorts of crazy props like these lightsabers, neon lights, a head crab prop, and whatever this is.
Calm yourself. This energy empowers us. This energy empowers us.
Half-Life 2 Deathmatch was extremely fun to me, but I can see why the appeal was on a slow decline. The only thing that made the game unique from the other shooters was the gravity gun, in all honesty. And apparently there was a whole clan for this game that had a lot of drama surrounding it, which also led to the decline within the community. This was also the game where I made my first online friend before I ever even owned an Xbox 360. I think the dude's name was Butters, but I have no idea where this bro is now. So as I was fishing alone and reminiscing my childhood era, I thought to myself, damn, what happened to this game? Well, the short answer is competition. In 2007, one of the most influential games was released by none other than Valve, Team Fortress 2. This game was a precedent for what multiplayer games should offer, with numerous class systems to keep the gameplay fresh depending on what you're feeling, memorable characters, and a lot of skill to its gameplay. The success of TF2 can certainly be a factor that castrated Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. The game is so popular that it has an extremely loyal fanbase almost 2 decades later. There's also Counter-Strike with its numerous versions, which were extremely popular and potentially overshadowed Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Come to think of it, it's insane how two of the most biggest FPS multiplayer games in the market are both made by Valve. There can also be a discussion on if Gary's mod killed Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, since the game offers so many features to the base Half-Life 2 formula that HL2DM just couldn't achieve. It is a lot more on the creative side of the Source engine. It's still pretty easy to get into a server on the game, but the bangers I remember back in the day and the thriving community that Half-Life 2 Deathmatch had is just now a forgotten memory. And in all honesty, the gameplay formula isn't that engaging after the first hour or so, and it was clear that Valve just didn't put that much effort into the game, like CSGO and TF2, so the decline of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch was just inevitable. Thanks for watching. Half-Life 2 Deathmatch was a massive part of my childhood, and I just wanted to talk about my experience of the game in today's date and share the fond memories that I had. I'll see you guys in the next one.